Hello friends, in the series of learning C++ programming, in the previous session we have just covered copy constructor and constructor overloading concepts. Now in this session I am going to explain dynamic constructors. See, the word dynamic indicates that runtime. Constructor is nothing but a special member function that will be called automatically whenever object will be created. Okay, now suppose we are creating any object, then constructor will be called, and suppose that object requires any type of dynamic memory allocation, then inside that constructor we have to allocate memory dynamically. Now for dynamic memory allocation we can use new operator provided by C++. We have already learned about new and delete operator, that is dynamic memory allocation in C++. That part you must know for understanding this concept. If you don't know about that, just see that video. Okay, now see, inside a constructor if we are just allocating space dynamically with the help of new operator, then that is nothing but a dynamic constructor concept. To get better understanding of this dynamic constructor concept, here I am just explaining one example, simple example. See, I want to create a string. Okay, means I just want to create an object which will internally hold a string. Suppose I want to store any string as a part of object, then what we can do? See, we will create one class, the let class xyz, and internally we will create one array of characters. Of course, here in C++ to store string, there is a way that we can create array of characters. But suppose we don't know in advance the length of string, then we have to consider maximum size of that string. Let char name of let 50. In this way we can create array of character. This will be the member of this class. Class may have any array as a member, it is allowed. Means suppose I want that any string as a part of any class. We will consider here employee class. Employee may have internally name as a data member. It may have other members also like employee number, employee salary, like this. Now I want to store name. For that, here there is only one way, that is character array. We have to declare character array for storing name of employee, because there is no any string inbuilt data type in C++. For storing strings we have to use character array, just like C. Now see, here I have mentioned maximum size of this character array as a 50. Maximum size means its size of this array is 50. Means here this name, inside this member we can only store string having maximum size 50. Any employee's name is exceeding this 50 size, then this name is not capable of holding that name. Again, suppose any employee is having name whose length is only 5 characters. At the end of each and every string, there is a null character which will be automatically inserted. That's why only 6 characters space will be used. Remaining space will get wasted, of course. Getting? This is nothing but a static memory allocation. But instead of this type of static memory allocation, we can just create a pointer here to hold only address of that string as a member of this class. And whatever actually name, that is nothing but a string. For that we will just create space dynamically. Means here we will declare, instead of doing this, we will declare one character pointer, let name. Okay, it will hold only address. Okay, it will hold only address like name. Whatever space required for storing that name, that we have to allocate dynamically. Now here we will store actual name, let Ram. And now it requires only 3 bytes, 3 characters are there, and its address is suppose 100. At 100 location suppose we have stored this string, and for storing that string we have to allocate space dynamically, compulsory, keep in mind. And now that 100 we will store here. Suppose this string requires 50 size, then okay, no problem, 50 characters we will store here and address will be stored here inside that character pointer. Suppose string length is greater than 50, of course it is again allowed. We will allocate space dynamically, we will store that string inside that dynamically allocated block, and its address only we will store here. Means whatever drawbacks of static memory allocation, we can resolve using dynamic memory allocation, and for that we have to just declare a pointer as a part of class. Means pointer may be a data member of a class. Getting? And here we need a dynamic memory allocation. Means whenever we will just create object of that class, then constructor will be called, and inside that constructor we have to do these things. We have to allocate space dynamically with the help of new operator. This part we have to do. And if any constructor is internally having dynamic memory allocation, means that is nothing but a dynamic constructor. This is only the concept. Now here we will see one example to just see this. Okay. See here, I have just created one class string and it is internally having name and length. See here, length is again important part because this will hold number of characters inside that string, this length. Okay, and name, whatever string you want to store dynamically, its address we are going to store inside this name variable. Getting? Means this is a pointer to character and this is nothing but an integer variable. For each and every object of this string class, how many bytes will get reserved? See here, 4 for that char star and 4 for that int data type. Getting? Means this will hold address. This is a pointer. See, char star means pointer to character. Actually whatever address of string is nothing but address of first character of that string. That's why here we have declared one character pointer. Somewhere else we will allocate dynamically the space and its address only we will store here as a part of this class. Getting? And length is nothing but number of characters in that length. Here I will consider 64-bit system. That's why I have taken here 4 bytes. If it is 32-bit system, then of course it will be 2 bytes. Okay, means each and every object of this string class will have internally 8 bytes for storage, and first 4 bytes will hold address of that name wherever it is stored, and length will have internally number of characters inside that string. That's it. Here class name is string. And here again I have your string. See here, just see the difference. This S is capital, this S is a small. This is just a header file, string header file. Now here I am just using that strcpy. That's why I have included this string header file in this program. Getting? Now see here, I have just written a default constructor. Constructor's main purpose is to initialize data members of that class. That's why here we have to compulsory initialize this name and length. Now length we can initialize to 0. Then what about name? There should be some address, and for that, see here I have just created one string having length 1. Suppose I have created one object like this string, as automatically default constructor will be called, and S will have internally 2 members. First one is name and second one is length. Now length I have set to 0, and now what about name? Here there should be some address. That's why I will just allocate some space dynamically. Suppose here inside a memory, this is only 1 byte space. See here, new char length plus 1. What is this? Length is having 0 value. That's why 0 plus 1, 1. For only 1 character, we are just allocating space here. See, we know that the new operator, whenever we will use here square brackets, then what will happen? Internally, for array, we are just creating space. If we have mentioned here only length plus 1, length is 0, 0 plus 1, 1 means for only one element we are creating space here. Which type of element? Character type of element. Okay, now here for one character, space will be allocated inside a memory, and this new operator will return address of that newly allocated block. Suppose it is 100, then of course that 100 will get stored inside in this name pointer. This is a pointer. Pointer can hold address. And here length, it is by default 0 now. Means we have set to 0. This will be the default constructor. And parameterized constructor. See, this is a parameterized constructor. Constructors with arguments are nothing but parameterized constructor. Here we are just passing a string. There are basically 2 ways to pass string to function. The first one is with the help of subscript operator, and second one is with the help of pointer. Okay, means here as a argument we can take pointer or any array directly using subscript operator, and here we have to just pass string using double quotes, or suppose we have declared any string variable, then that again we can pass over here as a argument. Now see, this same thing we have to apply here while writing this parameterized constructor. Why? Because this constructor is again a function. Here I am just passing a string while calling this constructor, because see, my target is here this string object. Whenever we will create, then internally it will have pointer to the dynamically allocated string, and second one is length of string. That's why here we will pass one string as an argument. Then whenever we pass any string, then here there should be a pointer variable. Whenever this statement will get executed, automatically parameterized constructor will be called. Here just we are creating one object of that string class, S1. Okay, S1 will have internally two data members. First one is name and second one is length. Now here length should be whatever length of this pass string. That's why here we have to find out the length of that string with the help of strlen function, and so for that we have just included here string header file. Now here it will just calculate length of that string and will store inside length variable. Simple. Now it will calculate, like see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 characters are there, 6 will be returned and that will get stored inside length. Whose length? Calling object. Here S1 we are creating, S1 will call, S1 dot length will get set to 6. Now here 6 value. Now see, we have to allocate space dynamically for storing this eLogic string. Okay, and its address we have to store inside this name pointer. Now how to just allocate space dynamically with the help of again same thing, new operator. Char, how much space we have to allocate? Length plus 1. Length is 6, 6 plus 1, 7 character space we have to allocate. See, we have just discussed that there should be 1 character extra space for storing null character. Always if any character array is ending with null character, then only it will be considered as a string. Always keep in mind. Okay. Now here see, length plus 1, 6 plus 1, 7 character array will be allocated. Means 7 character space will be allocated internally and its address will get returned by this new operator, and that we are storing inside name. Suppose address of this newly allocated block is 222. It will get stored here inside this. Means now this name is pointing to this newly created block. See here we have just used new char length plus 1, means we are allocating space dynamically. Now after that, what is remaining? Whatever string present inside that est, we have to just put here inside newly created block. Now for that we have used here strcpy function, string copy. The syntax of string copy is like this prototype. We have to use like strcpy. Here we have to pass destination and then source. Means where you want to just copy that string, and whatever string present, that source is the second argument. Now where you want to copy? Inside name. Name is not like this. Where this name pointer is pointing at that location, whatever string present inside that yes will get copied. Now here automatically that eLogic string will get copied, and at the end automatically that /0 will get inserted. No need to do anything. Now in this way this parameterized constructor will work. Means we are just allocating space dynamically, and whatever newly allocated block, there we are storing the string. That's it, nothing else. And the space, how much space to be allocated, for that we have to just calculate length of that pass string, and plus 1 we will do because for last character /0 character, and there we will store the string. That's it, nothing else. Getting? Here we have to just display whatever string present inside that object. Cout name. Cout name is it will just display the string. Okay, here it will display eLogic like this whenever first object will be created. Now in the same way for S2, again this parameterized constructor will be called. Now inside here there will be the new string, that is programming. Getting? And now again whatever length of that programming string will be computed with the help of this strlen function. that will get stored inside length data member of that S2. Next, name will have address of that newly allocated block. Here see length plus 1 space will be allocated using new operator we are allocating, means dynamically, and whatever address that will get returned, that will get stored inside name of that S2, and then whatever string we have passed like programming, that will get copied in that newly allocated block. That's it. Again same thing will happen whenever we will create object S2. In this way we can create objects dynamically. Dynamically means we will allocate space dynamically inside a constructor. That is nothing but a dynamic constructor concept. See, here destructor will work properly. The destructor function will be called automatically when object is getting destroyed. See, whenever this S1 and S2 will be out of scope, means their life will get finished, and that's why automatically destructor for that S1 and S2 will be called. But here we have not written destructor. That's why see, S1 S2 will get lost. Here this one will get lost, this one will get lost, but whatever dynamically allocated space will remain as it is. Getting? That's why there will be a problem of memory leak, because this is not in use but just we have allocated. Getting? And that's why we have to deallocate this space using delete operator inside a destructor. Here this destructor concept will work fine. How to write destructor? You already know, we have just discussed about that destructor concept in the previous session. Again here after this display function I am going to write destructor in this class only. Before closing we have to write destructor at this place. How to write destructor? Simple tilde operator. Okay, see tilde operator, the name of class is string, that's it. Destructor will not take any type of argument. Okay, it is not having any return type, not even void. It is having same name as a class name but preceded by tilde operator. Now here we have to just free the space allocated. What should be done? Only write here like delete name. Name is having pointer, means address. Whatever space pointed by this name pointer, that will be freed. Okay, means whatever space allocated dynamically using new operator whose address is inside this name variable, name pointer, that dynamically allocated space will get deallocated. Means name is pointing to this block which is allocated dynamically. Automatically whenever this statement will get executed like delete name, for that object, means see, first for S2 the destructor will be called. We have seen destructors will be called in reverse order of their creation. First S1 has been created, then S2 has been created. That's why first for S2 destructor will be called, and wherever that S2's dynamically allocated space, that will get freed first, okay, automatically. Then for S1 this space will get freed by this delete operation. Getting? This is just a dynamic constructor concept. Here again we have used destructor also. Getting? Now this is all about constructors and destructors. Now in the next session we are going to start new lesson, that is operator overloading. Okay, till that take care, bye bye, thank you.